Coming up on News 2, WAPA scheduled limiting rotating service interruptions as they work to build enough generation capacity. Plus, the East End Medical Center kicks off a pilot outreach program to serve the medically underserved and uninsured school-age populations. Details. Plus, residents are reminded that animal cruelty is punishable by law. Who is responsible for beating this horse? Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Mansing, topping our newscast in an effort to even out the healthcare landscape in the territory. Some local organizations have partnered to conduct an extensive health assessment study. The St. Thomas East End Medical Clinic and the University of the Virgin Islands Caribbean Exploratory Research Center are working together on this. Their target? The medically underserved population in the Virgin Islands. News 2's April Knight has more.
In the next several months, homes in the East End area of St. Thomas might be getting visits from health professionals. On Tuesday, the East End Medical Center kicked off a major study of the health needs of the VI's underserved population. The East End Medical Center is one of the territory's 2 federally certified health centers.
Between Frederiksted Health Center and the East End Health Center, we had close to 60,000 patient visits during the year of 2014. And we serve a high proportion of individuals who really have no other means of getting health care, particularly primary health care.
It received a $200,000 grant from the Department of Interior to conduct the study involving select schools and public housing communities.
In addition, we want you to listen out and participate in town hall meetings where we ask community members to share with us their views and issues with respect to health and health needs for the catchment area. We're going to be looking at a particular catchment area, and there's much research that says that where you live really has implications for your health outcomes.
The East End study has been in the works for 2 years. It's supposed to help the health center's program of removing barriers that keep certain VI communities from getting good health care. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The East End Center and UVI's Caribbean Exploratory Research Center, the case study is expected to go on until September of this year. The Department of Human Services is seeking approval from the United States Department of Health and Human Services Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services for a state plan amendment to establish an alternative benefit plan effective May 1st, 2015. The purpose is to describe the ABP and solicit public comment regarding the plan. The ABP is the benefit package that will be provided to beneficiaries in the Medicaid low-income adult population. The United States Virgin Islands intends to continue providing the full array of Medicaid state plan services to the population. The alternative benefit plan will align with the existing state plan coverage effective May 1st, 2015. Well, after several blackouts, here's an update over the weekend that left more than 16,000 customers dissatisfied. WAPA again suffered failures last night, which resulted in another blackout that lasted a couple of hours. According to WAPA, its Unit 15 broke down and had to be restored. On Tuesday, WAPA has also scheduled rotating blackouts for the duration of 2 hours per area between 8 a.m. and 12. Sections of Altona, Solberg, Mountaintop, and North Star Village lost power. From 10 a.m. to 12 noon, Crown Mountain, Scott-Free, and UVI west to Bordeaux also lost power. According to WAPA, the rotations will continue until they work around the problem. WAPA has canceled its scheduled press conference on its new smart meters on Tuesday. No new date has been announced. Police are trying to find out who beat and stabbed a horse to death last week. Shelter officials say they've seen animal cruelty too often, and the community needs to speak up. News 2's Erica Parsons has the story. We have to warn you that some of the images may be graphic.
6 wreaths mark the area where a local horse was beaten and killed last week.
Stabbed him right here, going down.
Stabbed there, right?
Right there, there, and several times on the nose.
Animal welfare workers are still shocked over the abuse this horse suffered at the hands of hooligans. They were returning from another animal abuse case Wednesday when they were called by the Department of Agriculture.
When I got here, I realized that the animal was already was euthanized by the agriculture veterinarian. And it was very sad. The animal had some wounds to the head, like if they hit him with some kind of heavy object. And also it have stabs puncture all around the neck.
Police investigating the incident said the horse was found by its owners Tuesday evening, lying on the ground bleeding, where they had tied it close to the youth rehabilitation center.
You can tell from the messages left here by the family and friends that this horse was one that was really cared for and loved, like this message. Jen, the giant slayer, you was the baddest thing out. Gone, but you'll never be forgotten.
Police said the horse was bought last year by the owner for her teenage grandson as therapy for his attention deficit condition.
Just reading what they put about the horse, like how great the horse was and how much they love the horse and how much they miss him. The children who was taking care of this horse loved this horse from deep into their heart. The animal was in perfect condition.
Animal abuse and neglect are punishable by law, and officials hope the community will speak out if they witness anything like this.
Situation like this does happen and people just get away with it all the time. You know, it's like, okay, well, it's just an ex-animal, and it's not just an ex-animal. People that continue doing this, eventually they're going to hurt someone. And we do have laws against cruelty. This is cruelty in first degree. If anyone outside there know who did this, just call the police, call 911. If you're walking with your cellular phone, take pictures when you see a situation like this.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Now, police told News 2 there aren't any new leads in the case, but they're urging anyone with information to call police or Crime Stoppers. So Crime Stoppers ask you to ensure that no crime goes unsolved. Remember, if you know something, say something. Here's this week's Crime Stoppers report. On St. Thomas on April 1st, police from the Richard Colwood Command responded to the Berg's home area regarding shots being fired. Officers found an overturned vehicle near Building 13. Shortly thereafter, the vehicle's operator was found in the vicinity of hospital ground. The operator of the vehicle was transported to the Schneider Hospital via ambulance, where he was treated for injuries sustained. Investigation revealed that the victim's vehicle was struck multiple times by gunshots. Over on St. John on March 23rd, about 3:20 a.m., officers were dispatched to the Racetrack gas station in Enide, where they met the store's manager concerning a burglary. The manager stated that he received a call from the owner indicating that the business's alarm was tripped, prompting him to investigate. He found the side cashier's window smashed in, although he left the store locked and secured about 11 p.m. Upon initial investigation, the manager stated he did not observe anything missing, but would make a more thorough inspection. Be sure to call 1-800-222-TIPS. A Frederiksted man is recovering after being assaulted and robbed on Good Friday. Police said the victim was playing a heated game of dice at the Frederiksted vegetable market when something hit him from behind. The victim told police he fell unconscious, and when he woke up, his cell phone and charger, along with $500, was gone. At the time, he didn't call the police or try to go to a doctor. He only went to the hospital after the continued swelling of the back of his head and left eye, according to reports. The victim is also suffering from extreme pain in his right hip and lower leg. Turn our attention overseas. It seems like Washington shared in our power struggles inconveniences during a power outage. An outage affected customers in the Washington area Tuesday, including the White House. The DuPont Circle station in D.C.'s metro system went dark, and passengers climbed up the steep escalator to the street. At the National Museum of the American Indian, the generators went on, but caused a different problem. Outside the National Air and Space Museum, tourists could only sit and wait. Classes at the University of Maryland were canceled for the rest of the afternoon, and students at George Washington University were forced onto the sidewalk. Backup generators kicked on at the White House almost instantaneously, and regular power to the complex was quickly restored. Coming up on News 2, federal officials continue to investigate a Delaware family's exposure to a toxic chemical during a vacation at the Serenusa Resort on St. John. Students from the Ricardo Richards Elementary School and members of the public stopped to remember former Governor Cyril E King Tuesday. April 7th marks the late governor's birthday, and it's designated as Cyril Emmanuel King Day. Now, every year, Senator Terrence Nelson hosts a ceremony to honor the second elected governor and his wife, Agnes Schuster King.
I just find it, at least as an ICM member, important to uphold the recognition of this day because he was a good governor, and his style of leadership I think we need to return to. It's really one of caring, just as the party states, a party of caring.
He was a man of the people. He worked real hard to bring the Virgin. I helped bring the Virgin Islands to where it's at today. And our students need to know that they're standing on shoulders of great people that work hard and made life better for them. And we want them to just appreciate the leaders that came through the Virgin Islands before them and to inspire them to see what they could become or who they could become.
In my view, I believe Governor King worked for God. He was a man of God, and it was so demonstrated in his style of leadership. And that was the message I hope that they take away.
And turn our attention to St. John. Senate President Neville James said Tuesday he, along with the legislature's secretary, Senator Myron Jackson, are in the final stages of establishing a plenary council of senators, government officials, and representatives from the National Park Service to discuss, analyze, and make recommendations to the Lieutenant Governor's Office for future property tax valuations. The Senate President plans to appoint these individuals to the St. John Land, Heritage, and Property Tax Task Force, whose duty will be to provide recommendations and a framework for coming up with assessments and real property valuations on the island of St. John. Senator James said the names of the appointees will be announced by the end of the week. Well, here's an update. Federal officials continue to investigate a Delaware family's exposure to a toxic chemical during a vacation at the Saranusa Resort on St. John. Reported on March 20th, paramedics responded after 4 members of the Esmond family became seriously ill. Stephen Esmond, 49, his wife and their 2 sons, 16 and 14 years of age. A family spokesperson says Steve Esmond, his wife, Teresa Devine, and their 2 sons were taken to hospitals on the mainland and the U.S. The sons are in critical condition. Esmond has regained consciousness, but his sons have remained in a coma weeks after the exposure use of the potent neurotoxin pesticide methyl bromide was confirmed a day after the family became ill. According to Judith Ank, the EPA's regional administrator, it can cause convulsions, coma, cognitive deficits, and inflammation of the lungs. Florida USVI representatives are in the territory this week as part of the National Public Health Week. The team say they too were assisting in the case of the Delaware's family. The team is part of the VI Department of Health's educational forums, health outreach, and Florida USVI officials planned some events all this week.
We worked with the local hospital and helping to make sure that we were able to determine what was going on with the family, and that's how we were helped. Where awareness is the key, you know, to prevention of poisonings, and the more aware you are of your surroundings, or that you're feeling differently than before, if you've taken a medication and you're feeling sort of funny, as long as the person is, if the person is having a seizure, won't wake up, or difficulty breathing, you call 911. But if the suspected poisoning victim is able to, they should call us at 1-800-222-1222.
On Friday, April 10th, International Capital and Management Company and Hope Inc., through its men's health program, will be hosting a men's health fair in the Emancipation Garden from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They ask that the men in the community go and get screened for diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and HIV. There will also be a discussion on prostate and colon cancer. Other organizations will be present to promote their programs and resources that are available to the men in our community. Well, be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.